think I can definitely see, myself being busy with the gas, foot on the gas and foot on the brake. And just you saying that makes me feel that little bit of tingling. And one of the things is just being able to notice that is the first thing is I had no idea I was doing that for years. And once I was able to notice it, it really took a lot to get to that point of, actually being able to be still to notice what was actually going on. So thank you for that. And you may have already started to answer my next question was about these emotions and what happens when we have emotions, stress, and trauma that go unprocessed. And a lot of times we don't even know that they're there, right? I had so many emotions that were pushed down. I don't even, they're not even on my radar screen at all. And so when you can uncover them, sometimes it's like a real shock. It's like, wow, I had no idea that was still in the back. And how these experiences shape our nervous system health over time. And Brandon, I think you started to talk about that, but do you have any other thoughts that you would like to provide before I pass it over to Philip?
Well, with the whole body and the way our emotions are affecting the body, one of the things that happens, let's say you are in traffic. So I'll make it a real simple example, and someone cuts you off, and out of nowhere, rage comes up. Now, that person didn't come in the middle of the night and stick the rage there. The rage was already there, and all that they did was trigger the response. That's what the person who cut you off did. And so all of these emotions, the sadness, the despair, the helplessness, the rage, whatever's there, is stored inside our body. And so life conspires to trigger these automatic, involuntary places where the emotion arises. And so that's your body trying to tell you, hello, guess what? That person didn't cause your rage. That rage is already there. This is an invitation to wake up, to open your heart, to listen to the body. The body is always trying to speak to us. And it is possible even just to stop, breathe, be present, and literally ask the body, what's here right now? And instead of pushing it away when it's an uncomfortable feeling, coming from a place of acceptance, gratitude, and thanking the body that is revealing what's stored inside. So coming from a place of embracing it with acceptance, instead of this pushing away, running away, suppressing, denying, but to instead to welcome. The body is so responsive. It so much wants to reveal to you the trauma that's there. In my case, the first time I did a journey process, and I healed in that 6.5 weeks, half week's time, is that I uncovered trauma from my childhood violent, brutal abuse. Now, being a therapist in life, I thought I'd handled it all. I'd come to compassion, understanding, acceptance of what had happened to me in my past. Went through 8 years of therapy with that. But you can come to a place of total acceptance. But unless you've really opened into the trauma and released that stored pain, it's just an acceptance in your head. It's something that your mind says, oh, I accept, I understand, I feel compassionate. I know my mother was there when the whole World War II happened and her husband was shot through the head, and she gave birth to her son who was without a husband, and on, all the things that happened in World War II in Austria. So you can explain it away with your mind, convince your mind that you're accepted and compassionate. But unless you have honestly opened and released that stored pain and come to understanding and ultimately true heartfelt forgiveness, it's nothing but mind games. And so Just know your body wants to reveal what's there and it wants you to heal.
We just have to listen to it. Well, who can't understand the traffic and getting cut off in traffic? If I do now, I send the person love instead of getting mad. But it's got to catch myself too. It's like, ooh. All right, Philip, I would love for you to add. And Anise put something in the chat about wanting to know more about companionship of the present, and if present is better than what can be manufactured by self. So I don't know if you want to handle that as well. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, it provides a nice segue into this question of what happens when the body stores unprocessed emotions and stuff. So the way I understand the body is a little like this singing bowl. The body is essentially a resonator, and the present is going like this. And the body sings to the present and is informed continuously by the world around it. And that's where the companionship is. To me, there is always guidance in the present. If I am present, I am nudged to take the next step. In an embodied way, I know what it is without me needing to make a decision. And the word decision means to cut away. It implies a division, and there is a holistic way of feeling the present and feeling its guidance and companionship. But then what happens is we have these unprocessed emotions, these insults, these agendas. We have so many unintegrated energies in the body, from ideas to emotions to traumas, and the present, it's still going like this, but we don't feel it. We stop feeling it. And when that's the case, all you can do is live in your head and take charge of your life and make your decisions, because nothing else is available to you. So those unprocessed emotions contract the body's natural spaciousness. And for me, the process of reclaiming the spaciousness of your being is one in which those unintegrated emotions and ideas are felt and brought like this. I mean this literally, not metaphorically, brought through the body with love into the pelvic bowl. And I feel the pelvic bowl as the center of my being. And what happens with these unintegrated emotions, unintegrated energies, is usually they're locked in the body at an early age, when to feel them in the moment would be to be annihilated. We can't withstand it, so we park them in the body. And any unintegrated energy is reactive. It's just the nature of it. And I feel these unintegrated energies as orphans. I have orphaned these energies in my body. And how do you bring an orphan home? You don't hit it with a stick to bring it home. You don't get rid of it. You don't try to fix it. You accept it as it is. You offer it love, and that love itself can ease that energy back into your being, just in the same way that a lone bird, has erratic flight, and then it joins the flock, and its flight is harmonized by the whole. These energies, as they are integrated into the whole, newly sensitize us. They become assets rather than holding us in division. And without the spaciousness of the body, how do you make room for the present? You're so full of your own concerns and wounds and ideas.
The analogy was spot on. I love that. You can really see it. And but understanding all those things that we piled in the bowl, that awareness, I guess, is a first step, is to know we've got stuff piled in the bowl. And then, it's working working through it. And when I, most of my life, I worked my over 35 years in a corporate job, and I didn't even know I was stuffing all this stuff in the bowl. I just thought that I was, even there's this saying that, you go through life and you climb the wall and then you realize the ladder's on the wrong wall. I didn't even understand that. I was like, I'm in the right place. I'm in the right, I'm on the right ladder. Now I realize, ooh, maybe I wasn't.
Yeah, and there's this thing in our culture where you want to be full of good ideas. You want to be fullness is exalted, and emptiness is a deficit. And for me, my emptiness is precisely my availability to the world around me, which in Japan and other Eastern cultures they so deeply understand.
Oh my gosh. So back to you again, Philip. Why do so many people know what to do for their health, but yet they can't follow through? Even I have my moments too. I have to say I am not perfect. But how does our nervous system keep us looping in old habits, like maybe, going for the sugar or the caffeine, or we're overworking? And I think I had all of those in different times of my life, looping me.
Yeah. So to me, as a kid, you're embodied. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter, and she doesn't live in her head. She's in her body, and it's gorgeous. But we're trained to move out of the body and into the head. And in that journey up towards the head, we leave behind an emptiness. We have disconnected from our being, from our purpose, from our truth. And there is this emptiness that demands to be filled. And we try to fill it with, gambling, drink, drugs, pornography, distractions, and so we reach, and the body resists being told what to do by the head because its intelligence is 3 billion years older than that of the brain. And the guidance of that intelligence is impeccable. And so, we know what we should do, and we're trying to impose that on this ancient, deeper intelligence. And it says no at a certain point. It feels the emptiness. And so we reach for the wrong things to fill that emptiness. It doesn't work. And so over and over, we're trying to fill that emptiness. And we're doing that in a state of aloneness. And aloneness to me is a product of living in the head. If
Mhm.
you live in the body, you don't feel alone. The body recognize, if I'm present to a tree from my body, there is a sense of belonging. There's a sense of mutual recognition. And I can feel that with a pebble. I can feel that with a cloud. The body comes into companionship. That's what it understands. And if you move out of the body into the head, you are interrupting the bridge between you and the present. Because what the body feels is the present. And you interrupt that bridge to the present, and then you feel alone. And again, our culture has internalized that, well, we are alone. Stand on your own 2 feet. Everyone is born alone and dies alone. But it's just not true. You are felt more intimately by the world around you than you can feel yourself. You are held in the embrace of the present at every moment. And we lose that. We're trained in material reductionism that says all there is dead bits of matter that interact. And no, there is a mindful guidance that moves through all things. Heraclitus spoke of the thought that steers all things through all things. It appears in the Tao. This ancient embodied knowing is something that we have forsaken in our desire to live in the head and control the world around us.
So the alone really hits me because one of the things that I've recognized is when I was raising my beautiful 4 daughters and working this demanding job, burning the candle at both ends, I was trained to that I needed to be a super mom. And a super mom does everything for everybody and does it by herself. You know, she can do all the baking and make all the beautiful presents and, you know, do everything. And the worst part about it is not only can she do everything, she can do it by herself. And that's such, in my opinion, that's such a crime to us to have that. But I bought into that. I bought into this thing about doing it alone. And
Yeah. And
really,
if I could just add, you know, you think about anxiety, you think about depression, you think about a sense of meaningless. What they all have in common is that you feel alone. So to me, we're stuck in this fantasy that disconnects us from the living world that holds our lives in its embrace.
yeah. So true, so true. Over to you, Brandon, for your thoughts.
Well, you brought in addiction from the beginning, and one of the things I've noticed, again coming back to the emotional world, is that you may have the best intent. So let's say you say, I'm going to work out at the gym every day. I'm going to be eating fresh and raw fruits and vegetables. That's all I'm eating. And all of this, and it feels so right. And then there comes a moment, and you don't even know why it happens, where a friend calls and says, let's go to the movie. And you go, yeah, I'll blow off the gym today. And somehow the whole gym routine falls away and the whole healthy diet starts to fall away. And so there is a way in which when the body starts to get very healthy, the deeper issues emerge unbidden. And so we start to reach for those things that will narcotize us. So we will reach for the drugs. We will reach for the brownie, reach as comfort food. We'll reach for food, literally just stuff the emotions down. We'll smoke that cigarette because actually when that's happening, we're taking a deep breath in and a slow exhale out. And all of it works to suppress the emotions. And the same thing, you mentioned, Phil, with gambling, the rush. They're seeking joy, a longing for a connection to that exhilaration, that rush. And so regular life feels so banal, so ordinary. And so this addiction to getting that rush, and in my world, so often people have addictions, be it with heroin, be it with alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, there's a way they're seeking for something deeper than what life is giving them. With the heroin, it's the high. I can remember I was working with a heroin addict, and I ended up doing the journey with them. And when they opened into this that I call source, that infinite self, that enlightened awareness that you come in as, when he opened in that, he said, this is better than any high I've ever had. He said, I have been seeking this my whole life, but I found it in heroin. And it was only because of that that he was then able to go to rehab and get off the drug entirely, because he knew that that rush of joy, of scintillating love, of emotion that he got from the heroin was a pale imposter compared to the real thing that I believe that Philip is pointing to, which is this omnipresent, spacious presence that is your own essence, shining in everything. And when you are resting in that tree, that pebble is not something separate. It is happening in you, as part of you. And so this oneness, when you open into it, all of the world is existing in it. And so this is a part of the reason I feel people reach for drugs and addictions, is they're actually reaching, they're seekers, reaching for connection, but ends up. And the other thing is it does narcotize those emotions that we so don't want to feel. And you can put them to sleep by surfing the web endlessly, by constantly watching videos so you don't have to be present to what's here now. Because being present to what's here now, it may be that those old emotions give rise to themselves. So those are a couple of reasons why I think addiction occurs even when we're doing a healthy life.
Yeah. Oh, life. Oh, life. Now, as we wrap up, Brandon, I would love for you to, we've talked so much, so many beautiful things have been shared in this hour that we're coming to a close on. If you have one simple nervous system practice or suggestion that people in our audience could do to start today, what would you recommend? And also, I know that you have a beautiful free gift for our audience and how that can support them, maybe tell on their own journey as they are today. And you're welcome to pop your contact info and your link to your gift in the chat if you would like when you have an opportunity. I'll let you talk first.
So a practice that I find is very useful for me is to, in the moment where that something extreme is happening, something unexpected occurs, is just to stop, breathe, and be present. Very often, that thing that we're so afraid of, it will come and it will go if you just stay still and rivet all of your attention into this moment. If you bring all of your awareness to just the now, then this omnipresence of grace that is your own essence is revealed. But the moment we jump out of that into the mind, then we get to go into that level of insanity that Philip so articulately talked about. So give yourself permission in the face of crisis just to stop, breathe, and bring all of the awareness just to this moment. And the gift that I would like to suggest is a free download of The Journey, which was my initial best-selling book, and it's the one that journeys, you take the journey with me, and then you get the process work at the back of the book. And so that if you get on to thejourney.com, our website, you can download it there as our free offering. And we can also put that into the chat box. But the work is called The Journey, and it's a free download of that initial book.
Beautiful. And we are as well going to have a bonus vault that we will send out by email to everybody that signed up for this event so that you can get all of the information and the downloads and everything through that. So, but it's always nice. I think people like to get it right away. I know I do. So anyway, Philip, over to you.
Yeah, we're trained to come into known relationship with everything, and I can look around. I know what everything around me is. So if I know what it is, why would I bother feeling it? And that's what the head takes us to. The body comes into felt relationship, and the quality that most facilitates felt relationship is gentleness, which is also somewhat contrary to our driven culture. So one really simple thing that people might try is, how gently can you feel your breath? And can you feel it more gently? And as you go through that, as you feel the breath more and more gently, in my experience, it begins to bring the body into coherence. And as that happens, it starts to locate you or open you to the present. And we so rarely, we're trained to breathe in a certain way, breathe this way, breathe that way, but just to bring as much gentleness to the experience. However you're breathing in the moment, how gently can you feel it happening?
That's beautiful. And what I hear both of you saying is it's really about having just noticing your body is the big thing. And I don't, never did notice my body. It was something that, was pushed too busy pushing through.
I might just add to that. Noticing the body for me is the first step of embodiment. But in my work, I don't talk about listening to the body. I talk about listening to the world through the body.
That's beautiful. Oh, my heart is very open. I am so grateful for the both of you for taking time out of your busy days to be here with us and share your wisdom. I want to thank you both for your time today, and it was such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Such
Beautiful.
a treat. Yeah.
And also to meet you, sir. This is my first time meeting you, and I've loved listening to you. I've resonated very strongly with what you say, very strongly.